Augustown in St. Andrew remains tense after thugs shot two men in the community last night. One of the men succumbed to his injuries. The other man has been hospitalized. The deceased has been identified as 29-year-old construction worker Christopher Hales. He's a resident of Augustown. The incident occurred about 8 o'clock. Both men were standing on the road when they were shot. There is a heavy police presence in Augustown to prevent a further flare-up of violence. Member of Parliament for Eastern St. Andrew, Favour Williams, told TVJ News that the incident is said to be a reprisal for a murder in the community 3 weeks ago. The St. Ann police have named the person of interest in the murder of 54-year-old social worker and attorney Loy Ferguson McCoy. Senior Superintendent in charge of the St. Ann Police Division, Michael Smith, says the police are seeking Anthony Nicholson, otherwise known as Nantony of Fraserwood in Highgate, St. Mary.
We believe that he can help us in our investigation because he was the last person she was seen in his company, and we believe that he'll be able to assist us. So we're just asking him to turn himself in for us to just carry out the investigation. So that's where we are currently. Statement has been collected and we are moving seriously to resolve this particular incident.
Mr. Nicholson is being asked to report to the St. Ann CIB no later than 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Mrs. Ferguson McCoy was found dead at her house in Hartstone Ridge Estate in Shaw Park, Ocherius on Saturday. The body had a wound to the head. A teenager who was picked up in his community last week by lawmen during the state of emergency in St. James has been charged with murder for craft vendor in Ironshore, Montego Bay. 33-year-old Koyadan Grant, better known as Rasta of Lapland, Katadupa in the parish, was shot and killed on January 14. The teen is scheduled to appear before the St. James Family Court on Thursday. The Coral Gardens police say that about 3:30 p.m. Mr. Grant was standing along the road when he was pounced upon by someone who opened fire, hitting him. He was pronounced dead at hospital. 26 of the 34 children who were displaced when a fire destroyed the workplace of safety on January 15 are back at school. They returned yesterday. The other 8 children are on remand and so are not in an educational institution. State Minister for Youth Floyd Green provided an update this morning.
Some of the children are still struggling with trauma. We had to send in the counseling team to intervene in at least one case, and we continue to provide daily counseling sessions in most of the children, especially the ones that still exhibit signs of severe trauma. So, we're working with them, and we've really gotten tremendous support from public and private donors, and we really want to thank them. There are still needs, and we've compiled a comprehensive need list that we will be putting out, and clearly our focus now is to see how we can get as much contribution as possible towards rebuilding the home.
He says up to Monday, the Minister of Local Government had not received the preliminary report on the fire from the Jamaica Fire Brigade. The Jamaica Gasoline Retailers Association, JGRA, is reporting that last Friday's discovery by the police of an illegal petrol trade in Montego Bay is just the tip of the iceberg, as there are other similar operations across the island. TVJ's O'Shane Masters has the details.
7 men were arrested after the security forces seized 20,000 litres of petrol, valued at $2.5 million, during a special operation along Bay Road and Pimento Way. Some of the men were observed with makeshift gas pumps when they were held. JGRA President Philip Chong told our news centre that the petroleum trade continues to be plagued by illegal operators.
We've had reports. We're putting our information together in our other areas, areas such as Portland and in St. Ann. We're wondering how come nobody else has seen it.
The persons arrested on Friday will be charged with breaches of the Petroleum Act. In the meantime, the JGRA says it will be helping with the crackdown on illegal gas operations.
Well, we're putting the information as best as we can. We're gathering the information to hand it over to the necessary authorities. It's no point us going to them and saying, look, this is happening and we don't have any information to aid in the process of stopping it, So we are putting our information together. We're gathering as much as we can.
Shane Masters, TVJ News.
There's a call for the revival of dormant neighbourhood watch programs across the island. The call was made by Assistant Superintendent of Police attached to the Community and Safety Branch, Fitzgerald Linton. He was speaking at the National Neighbourhood Watch media briefing in Spanish Town on Saturday. He said that it's time for all persons to address the crime monster which is plaguing the nation. He noted that some stringent measures will be rolled out in the St. Catherine North Division, which has recorded 13 murders since the start of the year.
We are rolling out just about everything that is necessary to ensure that we don't go back to where we were some years gone by. So we are doing that. And I'm saying, as you do your press conference in this division, you too will realize the efforts that we are making. And I want to implore you that as we make the effort, that you now understand that your effort will have to be doubled just the same.
Meanwhile, the Island Coordinator for the Neighbourhood Watch Programme, Inspector Barrington Brown, says persons need to desist from saying the nation's churches are not doing much to help the crime problem.
Church has done a lot of things over the time. I'm a product of church. What I would like to see church continue to do, right, is for those who worship on Saturday like today. On Sunday, when you leave church, just go back to your community. Find those children who are not attending church. And you find them and get them on your veranda, in the park, under a tree, right? And you teach them what you learned in church during the day. And if you do it for the next 5 years, believe you me, some of the things that the country is experiencing, we will not be seeing them. In your different parishes, we still have Girl Guides and Scouts. Neighborhood watchers, you need to get the youth them back in those programs.
Wage negotiations are set to resume between the police, Federation and the government. The Federation's Central Executive has been invited by the Finance Ministry to another meeting to discuss its wage claims for 2017 to 2019. It will take place on Monday. The invitation follows last Wednesday's meeting with the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, and the heads of trade unions representing public sector workers. Talks stalled late last year after the Federation rejected the government's 6% wage offer over
opportunity for persons in the lower socioeconomic group and quite often leads to a constant cycle, sometimes for generations. Which is why the Two is Better Than Too Many campaign was launched by the National Family Planning Board in the 1970s to get people to have children they can afford. The campaign reaped some success. However, head of the Department of Sociology, Psychology and Social Work at the University of the West Indies, Mona, Dr. Orville Taylor, says despite that effort, the poverty rate continues to climb. Matilda Edmondson from St. Thomas, whom we featured this week, has 7 children, and none of them are educated. Those children then move on to having other children, which now put Miss Edmondson in a situation worse than the one she was in a few years ago.
You find that the more educated women are, even men too, but women more important, the more capable they are to deal with their needs, and they're less likely to have large numbers of children at the same time.
Andrea Campbell is the Director for Health Promotion and Protection at the National Family Planning Board. She agrees with Dr. Taylor.
You have a child for a man, he moves on, you find another partner who is helping you, you have another child for him as well, he moves on, and you're always in the cycle of finding somebody to help you. And with that, you think that you should have a child for this person.
Ms. Campbell says the NFPB does not assess persons having children at hospitals. Neither does the Health Ministry. However, based on what they see through work in the community, the evidence is clear.
Single persons having 8, 9 children, and those are from the lower economic backgrounds. And you'll find that when you travel uptown, for the higher SES, the average children is probably 1 or 2.
The NFPB says it continues to have challenges with persons of the lower socioeconomic group not wanting to use contraceptives. Ms. Campbell admits that the agency has failed to do more one-on-one interactions in terms of public education. However, staffing is a big problem.
A lot of times when they come to the health center, it's because they have a need or they are pregnant again. And we don't see them until they are pregnant, which is too late.
In the last 20 years, the national birth rate has moved from 2.8 children per couple in 1997 to 2.25 in 2002, but rose to 2.4 per couple in 2008. Shamela Mitchell, TVJ News.
Full operations at Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James may not return to normal until as late as September this year. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton provided a new estimated timeline while speaking in St. James on the weekend. The Health Ministry then confirmed the new timeline on social media. TVJ's Herman Green has details.
September 2018. That's the new projected timeline for the full restoration of services at the largest public hospital in Western Jamaica, the Cornwall Regional Hospital in Montego Bay, St. James. The update comes from Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton almost 2 months after he first disclosed that the original timeline of early 2018 would be pushed back as renovation works were far from being completed. Normal operations at the hospital have been disrupted since early 2017, when the emission of irritants in sections of the facility resulted in the temporary relocation of several clinical services delivery areas to elsewhere on the compound or to external locations. Dr. Tufton says the delays stem from new unexpected complications at the facility.
It's a brownfield site, meaning it's an existing site. When you think you know everything, behind the next wall is another set of challenge, whether it is leaking pipes, electrical wiring that requires replacement, walls that are compromised and you have to reconstruct and redesign. So it's a very difficult circumstances, but I think we have the team and we will continue to do all that we can to ensure that we get to normality during the course of this year.
Compared with operations prior to the problems last year, Dr. Tufton says the hospital is operating at 80% of its capacity. Other hospitals in the region, including Noel Homes in Hanover, the Falmouth and Savlamar hospitals, continue to provide support to Cornwall Regional Hospital. It is expected that the Cornwall Regional Hospital will gradually take back some of these operations leading up to September.
The recovery effort will see areas of the hospital being restored to normality each month, starting at the end of February. By April, additional areas. The outside and longest area to get the sort of full normality is the vent system, which will affect parts of the hospital more than other parts. And that is because the vented system has to be designed, it has to be ordered, because it's not a shelf item, it has to be built and then installed.
According to the Health Ministry, the new timeline should see a second operating theatre being functional by the end of February and radiology and outpatient clinics by April. Herman Green, TVJ News.
It has been 24 hours and there is still no sign of the Portland teen who has been feared drowned after he went river tubing at the Buff Bay River in the parish. He has been identified as 18-year-old Nicoy Murray from the Buff Bay Housing Scheme. As TVJ's Kalisha Williams reports, residents are complaining that the Marine Police have not been doing enough to find the teen.
What started out as an afternoon adventure quickly turned into a harrowing experience for this group of boys at the Buff Bay River. The river still in spades after weeks of heavy rainfall. It is reported that sometime after 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon, the teens went river tubing when one of them, Nicoy Francis, got into trouble while riding the high tides. According to the Buff Bay Police, he lost control of the raft and disappeared into rough seas at the mouth of the river. His friends attempted to save him, but their efforts were not successful because they could not swim. Fearing that their friend has drowned, they alerted the Marine Police, after which the area was searched. However, it is understood that after about 30 minutes of searching, the teen was not found. It's why the family of the victim is disappointed. They say the Marine Police have not done enough.
But the police and the Coast Guard and everybody in the government they're not doing anything to find my child. Nobody come speak to me, nobody asks no question, and just friends and families are the only one that is there to trying to keep me up on God.
I heard that there was some guys out there, some divers, was trying to find him, but because of the current, they couldn't do it because they didn't have any scuba tank or anything. Now I want to know, what is the security force doing? What is the Marine Police doing? What is the JDF doing? Are there any trained people in the force?
Desperate to find their loved one, the family is appealing for help.
I am a diver myself. I am not sure if I can go out there because I can hardly contain myself, but my diver friends, they're on their way coming up. So hopefully when they get here, we're going to try and go out there and see if we can look for him and find him ourselves, because no assistance from the government. Mr. MP, we need your assistance, sir.
If I could just only get some help to find my child, so I could just give him a proper